What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, we're going to be covering one of my favorite topics, which is burning the XRP escrow. Guys, one of the biggest things that critics of the XRP ledger have stated over the past couple years is the fact that Ripple holds billions of XRP, and therefore Ripple is suppressing the price via the selling of the XRP in the escrow. Well guys, in this video, I want to break down whether this argument actually holds water and give you my opinion on whether or not the XRP escrow should be burned. Guys, I know a lot of people have heard me talk about this before, but I want to give you some new thoughts I recently had with some new data that I think is really going to open your eyes to some new kind of intricate things involved in this issue. Guys, this topic is highly controversial and I think you're really going to like this. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who likes the videos and to subscribe to the channel. Guys, these things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, guys, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, let's start off with just a quick recap for people who are new to the XRP ledger and just joining. For those of you guys who don't know, Ripple actually has an XRP escrow. It's essentially 45 billion XRP that is slowly released to Ripple over time. They structured it this way so no one had to worry about Ripple suddenly randomly dumping 45 billion XRP on the market all at once. Ripple created the XRP escrow to slowly release XRP to them so that they could use to build out the XRP ledger and build out their business, which builds products for institutional grade companies to allow them to access the XRP ledger. The XRP escrow is essentially just the way Ripple has been distributing XRP to the XRP ledger ecosystem. A lot of different projects use different methods of doing this. Bitcoin uses proof of work. They reward miners for essentially contributing validation power to the network. In the Ethereum case, they use inflation to bring new tokens to the validators. In the XRP ledger, there's no incentive for actually running hardware on the network. There's no incentive to actually contributing validation power. The theory behind the XRP ledger is the best incentive is no incentive, and therefore rewarding people for contributing validation power to the network is not a way you can distribute tokens. Because of that structural difference in the network, you need a different way to get the tokens out and get the tokens circulating, and the way Ripple took was essentially just to sell XRP to institutions who want that XRP. Now guys, we're not going to get into whether or not this method is good or bad compared to proof of work and proof of stake. I actually did a video on that the other day. Personally, I do agree that the best incentive is no incentive. But one of the things that's created a lot of controversy via this method is Ripple holding so much XRP. A lot of people look at the XRP Ripple holds and say, oh, well, that's so much XRP, they're just going to constantly be pushing down the price of XRP. Oh, well, that's so much XRP, how is XRP ever supposed to go up if Ripple is constantly selling that XRP? Well, guys, in this video, not only do I want to kind of disprove that theory right there and actually show you a concrete example that I think should slam the door on that argument, but also show you why Ripple actually having that XRP, in my opinion, is really, really good for the ecosystem and ultimately is going to be good for XRP's price. Now, I know that's counterintuitive. You're probably thinking, Mickle, if we burned half the supply, wouldn't the price double overnight? Let me show you why that's not necessarily true. So let's start off with what I believe is probably the most important example and the most important data point in this entire equation. For those of you guys who don't know, XLM or Stellar actually used to also have an XLM escrow. And what they decided to do was burn their entire escrow. Now, a lot of people were saying at that time that this was going to cause the price of XLM to double. This was going to cause the price of XLM to go to the moon because essentially now all that outstanding XLM that people thought was suppressing the price is now not going to be suppressing the price, therefore causing XLM to fly. Now guys, XLM actually burned their escrow right around the date of the Ripple SEC case. And what you can see is that since that entire time, XLM and XRP have almost perfectly tracked each other. There's been almost no difference in the price of these two assets, which is a fascinating story on its own. Maybe I'll do a separate video covering that. But the thing we need to understand is XLM burning that entire escrow did absolutely nothing for the price of the token. And in fact, what you can see is XLM since then has actually underperformed XRP. Now, for a lot of people, right, that probably doesn't make any sense. How could that possibly be happening? XLM had 50 billion tokens in their escrow. They burned them, and now those aren't being sold onto the market. Why would that have no impact on the price of XLM? Now, in my opinion, this is a massive loss for XLM because now you've destroyed all that value and done absolutely nothing to affect the price of the token. It's hard for me to be able to conceive burning billions of dollars and getting absolutely nothing out of it. A lot of people thought that this would cause a lot of suppression to come off the price. But what we are looking at is that is actually the furthest thing from the truth. And in fact, the market just kept on playing out exactly how the market was playing out. Now, a lot of people have a really hard time understanding why tokens coming onto the market is not affecting the price. And I agree, that's a hard thing to comprehend. But we can't look away from the data here and understand that the market and the data is telling us that outside supply of XLM tokens had absolutely no impact on suppressing the price of XLM. Now, guys, one of the things why I think XLM is actually trading even worse now than it was prior is essentially because the XRP escrow is used as a war chest for Ripple, the company. What do I mean by that? During the Ripple SEC case, Ripple was attacked by the most powerful regulator in the entire world. Now, if Ripple didn't have the XRP escrow, I think there's debates on whether or not Ripple could have put up as good as a legal defense against the SEC. Ripple might have not been able to hire as good lawyers if they weren't able to sell XRP from the escrow. Ripple might have not had the leeway to be able to run other parts of their business during the Ripple SEC case if they didn't have the funds from the escrow to keep growing the XRP ledger ecosystem. So guys, Ripple was actually able to strategically use this XRP to help the entire XRP ecosystem. I know a lot of people think that Ripple was only fighting the SEC case for themselves, but making XRP not a security was something that was critical for the entire ecosystem. So Ripple's XRP escrow in that case was actually fundamentally extremely beneficial to the network. It was essentially a way of protecting it from hostile attacks from government regulators. And guys, the other thing we're seeing is Ripple's going to continue to use this escrow in different ways to build out the network to essentially make the network more powerful. Pretty soon, I foresee Ripple working with big institutions like BlackRock, where BlackRock's going to tokenize real-world assets on the XRP ledger, put them in an automated market maker, and we're going to need XRP on the other side of those assets to make them liquid to everything else on the network. What is Ripple going to be able to do? They're going to be able to use XRP from the escrow to put up liquidity against the real-world assets being issued on the network, therefore creating deep pools of liquidity between real-world assets, locking up XRP as a liquidity asset to essentially make the XRP ledger a hub for institutional grade DeFi assets liquid to everything else in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Guys, it's things like this where the XRP in that escrow is being used to bolster the network. And while that selling pressure might have some minute effect on the price, the things that XRP can build over the long term is far more powerful than any damage selling the XRP could do. And I would make the argument that selling the XRP is likely over the long run also creating far more benefits than anything in the short term. If Ripple didn't have the money to fight the SEC, if Ripple wasn't able to use that XRP in the escrow, there would have been so much damage to the XRP ecosystem that we might not be able to recover. But it's because of that war chest, it's because of those funds that Ripple was able to get a win for the entire XRP ledger ecosystem. Guys, if Ripple wasn't using the XRP responsibly, I would not be making this video. If Ripple was not using that escrow in a way I agreed with, I would not be making this video. But at the end of the day, it has never been more obvious to me that XRP in the escrow is being used to defend the entire network, bolster the ecosystem, and ultimately create a higher price XRP. Now, guys, the last thing I want to say is a lot of people say that XRP in Ripple's escrow is centralized, and I just want to pose a very interesting idea to you. Guys, if Ripple goes public via an IPO, shareholders who own Ripple stock are going to control Ripple, the company. If that happens, then essentially shareholders are going to control the escrow, which means that the XRP escrow is no longer centralized to Ripple, but actually decentralized to every public shareholder of Ripple, the company. Guys, these are very interesting ideas that I believe get rid of most of every issue we see around people complaining about the XRP escrow. And the main thing I want to bring to this video is not to convince you that the XRP escrow is a good thing, but show you that a lot of the narratives around it just straight up aren't true. If anyone tells you that the XRP escrow is an issue and is suppressing the price, all you have to do is show them this chart right here, and it disproves everything they're saying on its face. Guys, I am more than happy for Ripple to continue to have the escrow. I am more than happy for Ripple to continue to sell XRP onto the market to build a more powerful XRP ledger ecosystem, because I think in the long run, this is going to be the strategy that's going to win. I think of it as Amazon in the early days. Guys, Amazon was not meant to make profits day one. Amazon was not made to bring in revenue and get profitable their third year in business. Instead, they made sacrifices, they burned cash, they did things that were unpopular at the time to build a stronger network. That's what I see the XRP escrow as. I think over the long run, this is going to be a massive win. And I think the decision by Stellar to actually burn all the value in that account is going to come back to bite them hard. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.